I had the opportunity to jump into a title called Moonlighter 2. I understand that the first game was very popular with its dungeon crawler gameplay, along with its shop mechanics. It was a unique game and a very good one at that. I haven't played the original since it came out, but I remember enjoying it, and while the sequel does retain aspects of that original game, I feel like this one has a very different feel than the prior one, even with sharing similarities as well. There is an addictive loop here, and it very much succeeds at not only pulling the player in, but also gives the player plenty of reasons to dive in with this initial early access period. When it comes to roguelites, I really enjoy these games that manage to give you that meaningful and fun gameplay while on a run. Can you just dive into it for one instance and have a good time, along with feeling that pull to continue on long past your bedtime, and then add on to it. I prefer when games within this genre allows the player to both earn upgrades that you are constantly contributing to, like in the long term, along with things you use and enjoy while on that run, sort of contributing to making that short-term upgrades interesting. When a roguelike can manage to do that, well then it usually makes for a super addictive experience, and one that I want to keep coming back to over and over again. Moonlighter 2 very much has these elements, and I think they go a bit beyond then in how it constructs its loop, gameplay, and then other systems. Moonlighter 2 is a pleasant surprise.
Imagination lies the humble village of Renoka. Will, a local merchant, took care of his family shop. But the shopkeeper dreamt about something more. The dungeons, forbidden mazes filled with riches and dangers. The curious merchant explored them, of course, using its treasures to bring prosperity to his shop and his people. But an uncanny truth was revealed when he opened the fifth dungeon.
Moonlighter 2 starts out as a very enjoyable experience and then continues to keep adding on different elements and areas of progression to keep everything continually interesting. It's fun, addictive, and really great in the presentation area as well, both from its visuals and its inviting soundtrack. There were a few tracks where I could just leave them up, along with some that very much fit the combat situations. So what even is Moonlighter anyway? Well, it's a game of two halves. First you have the dungeon crawling, and then you have operating the shop. Both areas are fleshed out and both fun, and rather interesting, so let's start out with the dungeon crawling first. While on a dungeon, it's up to you to then slash, dodge, and shoot your way to victory. The hits are satisfying, sound effects equally as good, dodging at the last second is satisfying, and overall combat is fun. New enemies and other aspects help to keep things engaging as well. Add on to this is how there's a healthy amount of player choice. You choose which dungeon rooms to go into, so you can look at a set of paths and then figure out where you want to go, some even having some forks along the way. You might encounter some chests, rewards, and abilities for that run, others dropping care packages, and others just appearing random, and then they might net you with even bigger rewards and more. But what I really liked is how it all comes together where the player wants to go. How is that run going to go? What are you going for? Combined with this element that makes rounds feel unique and different is that there seems to be some randomness to everything too, like what rooms and what enemies you encounter. Dungeon crawling is quite good.
Those were no mere dungeons. Renoka was connected to other dimensions. That's why he wanted them. Morlock, the interdimensional collector. Using his power and influence, he took the dungeons and Renoka for himself. Will and his people were forced to leave. Hope may seem lost. But beyond the gates, something is waiting.
Now, while on a run, you'll be earning all sorts of materials along with items that you can put in your backpack. These items you can then take back with you and sell at your shop. While at the shop, you'll then decide which items you're going to be selling and then setting the price for them. You need to kind of gauge your customers to figure out how to sell your items effectively. Having successful sells will then net you with money, and then some of your early sales will then give you choice of perks that you can then use to greatly increase your earnings at the end of a selling round. Switching and trying to figure out how much to sell an item for to really then earn the most for it, along with shifting based on consumer feedback, is really interesting and very fun. It's a nice break from the dungeon crawling and engaging in a different way than the combat. Both parts are rather good, so it isn't like where one feels lackluster or half-baked. Additional upgrades can then be earned through supplies that you get on your dungeon runs, and these can be used to improve your stats, potions, and even allowing you to then encounter healing rooms. Some will open up more weapons and equipment for your character to use, improving your backpack capacity and more. When you mix in the dungeon crawling, fun combat, both on the short-term rewards and the loads of stuff that you can work towards in the long term, and then the shop stuff, you have a mixture of elements that are weaving all together to propel you to keep playing the game over and over again, and it really creates this very enjoyable and solid experience. As it pertains to any issues that I've had with it right now is that sometimes there are some stutters that pop up here and there, but for the most part the game is rather smooth. And again, I need to reiterate that both the visual and audio aspects of the presentation then lift this game up even further. I honestly had no idea that this was coming out, but I'm very glad that I had the opportunity to give it a try, because of how satisfying my experience was with it so far. Early access can be a bit rough at times. This didn't feel rough. Honestly, in many aspects, it didn't feel like an early access game. Like I said at the start, Moonlighter 2 was a pleasant surprise. Something that I thought was interesting was how there doesn't seem to be an endpoint for the early access period. Usually there is some sort of estimate for that time frame, but it seems that the developers wanted to provide what they had right now and then get that feedback to better and improve their game for the full release of it. This tells me a lot of things. For one, the developers are not setting a hard date for themselves. They value essentially improving the value of their game that they are providing. They want to get it right, they want to tweak, improve, and better as best they can before that full release is here. That means that this title could be within early access for a while if this team gets within the weeds from really taking that feedback and then trying the best to implement it for their game and community. At the same time, this title is being released in early access in the late fall, and I have a feeling that it might get a bit overlooked right now, and maybe that is a bit intentional. Maybe the developers really want to have those more hardcore and very interested fans sort of playing and testing the game out first. This then gives time for the developers to listen to everyone who plays it now, and as the game is updated along and way better for its full release, by that time the game should be in even better position. Whatever ends up being the case, I hope that this title and the developers get to where they want it to be. For me personally, I really like this game. I would strongly recommend it. It's very fun, addictive. The use of both its dungeon crawling along with its shop mechanics do create a really fun time. Moonlighter 2 is that great surprise that you want. Have you heard of or played the first or second Moonlighter? How does the second stack up to you? Let me know all of this in the comments down below. If you're interested in supporting the channel, please check out my Patreon page. For just $1 a month, you can help to keep this channel going strong, and this allows me to be able to do more for my awesome audience. Please check out the links in the description and pinned comment for ways to support the channel. And most of all, thank you very much for watching.